last video, I have kind of cleaned up a little bit after all that work on getting the transmission problem fixed where it wouldn't let you shift anything. Make sure to check that out if you guys have a problem with that or anything like that. Just for example, it didn't shift into anything outside of first and second, so now it shifts into all the gears. I do have to refill it with gear oil. This is all that came out. I don't think that's normal. I think it should be a lot more than that in there. But I will be refilling it. I'm gonna try to order some red line. I think that's what it's called, or something like that. But nevertheless, today's video is gonna be kind of short-ish. Just making it for those that might be curious on it. I'm probably gonna leave the crane on the engine because I don't fully trust it. At first, when I mounted it, I had it on all 4 jack stands. Now it's on these 3, and this one's just kind of there for safety if it tips or anything like that, and I kind of don't trust it fully, so I'm probably gonna leave the crane on it just in case. But got a part that came in the mail, which is this replacement gasket. It's not just a replacement gasket, it is a cosmetic gasket. When I took the plenum off to kind of paint it or restore paint it, the gasket that was under there ripped. So I thought instead of replacing, I just upgrade it. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. As far as taking off the intake plenum, or at least the stock intake plenum, you got bolts here, 1, 2, and the other ones are on the other side. So you got 1, 2, 3, and 4 that are going to be on the bottom. And outside of that, it's just all the hoses. So you got this hose, you got this one, you got the one that's down here. It's a little bit of a bitch to get at, but that one. Let's see, this hose, that hose, and the other one underneath it. Of course, you got this with the throttle body, all the connections. So it's that plug. I think it's just 2 plugs. It's that one and this one, if I'm not mistaken. And once you do all that, this whole thing should pop out. Yeah, the whole thing should pop out. Now there is some screws right here to kind of hold this in. These screws are connected to the intake plenum, so if you take these out, then you don't have to worry about disconnecting this whole thing. You know, just something to think about. And I'm kind of debating on keeping this because it just comes off. I might just paint that over, because this thing, I don't know, might get some 3M or some spray adhesive and kind of try to stick that back on there. I'm not sure yet, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the disassembly. we'll put them off. And in that last clip, I completely forgot about the bolt that I told you guys about earlier. That one will keep it in if you get everything else out. And just so you guys know, there are bolts on the inside of the intake plenum that you got to get from the bottom. So make sure you keep them in order because they all have different lengths and you want to be able to put them back the way that they came in. But yeah, it's pretty much how you get it off. And this is the gasket that I was talking about. When I first took it off to paint it, this part split. And there was another part split over here. So it was definitely going to need to be replaced. Go ahead and just pop that sucker off. There you go. Now, this is the new one, Cosmetic, the whole 9. So let's go ahead and take a look, see what a Cosmetic gasket looks like. I've actually never seen one in person. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up real quick. So here we are, Cosmetic gasket. And it already feels way more sturdy than the OEM gasket, so I guess that's what it's supposed to be like. But yeah. Now, as far as I know, you can't order these from Cosmetic directly, like just the one. You have to get the whole gasket set from them. I don't think they sell them individually, but luckily I had this one on eBay, and there's a private seller who sells all of the gasket kits individually. Like I guess he'll just buy a kit and kind of like part it out essentially. So that worked out in my favor because I only needed the intake plenum gasket. I will eventually do Cosmetic head gaskets, but that will come when I'm actually trying to build this thing for power. Right now, I'm just focused on getting it running. But yes, this is the Cosmetic, I always want to call it Cosmetic gasket. And I'll go ahead and see if I can work it out of here. So yeah, as I was saying, this Cosmetic gasket feels a lot more sturdy than this one does, and I mean that's pretty much just the way that it is. Also, yeah, like these parts had ripped off of the old gasket too, as you can see, that one and that one. So there's another reason to replace. It also came with a sticker I'll just add to the side of the S14. So let's go ahead and drop this in and put it back together. Yeah, I like the way that looks. Now you gotta slap everything back together, call it a day. All the bolts are in, all the hoses connected up again, you know. I call that a successful install. Only thing I got to say is when you do the bolts, make sure you tighten them in a, I don't know what pattern that is. Kind of like when you tighten lug nuts in that star pattern to keep it even. You want to start from the farthest bolt this way and make your way that way, tightening them up. And it's going to be like a outside inside type of thing because you want to get rid of any air gaps that can form from you tightening them outside on both sides coming in. You'll make a little bubble right there. So that's the only thing I can say about that. Successful install. There's pretty much only one thing left to do. And that will complete it. Consider that a job well done. Like, comment, subscribe, follow the build. Until next time.